Your headlights look cloudy, you tried toothpaste, and it did nothing good. Today, I'll show you the German way that actually works. In 5 minutes, you'll know exactly which kit or components to buy, how to tape your paint, and why sanding in the right order matters. Here's the twist. Modern lenses are plastic with a dead UV layer on top. We're not cleaning grime. We're removing oxidation. Stay with me to see the before, after, and the simple gear list that saves money in your night vision. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. You rubbed toothpaste, got a quick shine, and 2 drives later, the haze crept back. Why does a bathroom hack fade while the method engineers use holds? Because a headlight isn't a glass jar, it's a polycarbonate lens with a hard UV top coat. That top coat shields the plastic, and over time, sunlight and road grit break it down. The breakdown layer turns cloudy and starts scattering light. When you wipe on toothpaste, you're smearing oils and a mild abrasive over that damaged layer. It looks brighter wet, then dries, and the dead skin is still there. Let's step into how the lens is built, because that decides what actually works. Polycarbonate is tough but soft enough to scratch. So from the factory, a clear UV hard coat sits on top like armor. Once that armor oxidizes, it becomes a physical film that bends and diffuses the beam. Light doesn't pass cleanly because the surface isn't uniform anymore. You're not dealing with dirt, you're dealing with a layer that must be leveled. Quick fixes promise clarity without removing that oxidized film, and that's where time gets wasted. Think of it like trying to polish a sunburned clear coat without first sanding the burn away. You can glaze it and it might look okay for an afternoon, but the damage hasn't moved. It's still the top layer, and it still ruins the optics. Here's the simple logic behind the German approach. Oxidation is material, not a stain. Abrasives have one job: cut the damaged layer flat. Only after you've leveled that surface can polish bring back transparency. That's why grit order matters. You start coarse enough to bite, then step down to erase the previous scratches until the surface is uniform. A quick side-by-side tells the story. One lens gets toothpaste and elbow grease. It flashes clear while it's wet, then dries to a patchy sheen. Under a streetlight, the beam looks fuzzy at the edges. The other lens follows an 800, 1,500, then 3,000 grit path. After 800, the lens looks evenly dull. After 1,500, the dullness tightens. After 3,000, the fog is fine and uniform. A brief polish brings depth back, and the beam pattern snaps to a crisp edge. Household abrasives are all over the map. The particle sizes vary, so you get random scratches mixed with filler from gels or paste. Pressure is inconsistent by hand, and without a proper backing pad, you create highs and lows. That's why the haze returns in days. Oils evaporate, and the uncut oxidation resurfaces. Follow the right grit order, and it feels like microsurgery, not scrubbing. Each pass removes a known defect and prepares for the next. The payoff is straightforward. Toothpaste fails because it doesn't remove the oxidized UV layer or seal the fresh surface. Controlled sanding does, and resealing locks it in. Now that you know why hacks fail, let's pick the right gear for your budget and skill so your next pass actually sticks. Both routes can work, so which one matches your budget, tools, and patience today? You've got 2 clear paths. First, a kit, either drill-powered or hand-powered, with pre-selected abrasives and a simple workflow. Second, a components build, where you choose every piece yourself: the sandpaper grits, backing pads, polish, and the UV clear that locks it in. One favors speed, the other favors control. Kits win on convenience. The abrasives are matched to play well together, and the pads are backed so pressure stays even. You get clear instructions that map out the order and times, and many kits include a UV protectant, which matters for long-term clarity. Some offer a spray-on clear coat, others use a wipe-on liquid, and that application difference changes the feel and the durability. Drill-powered kits add a motor to your consistency, while hand kits keep things slower and safer for beginners. Now the trade-offs. Kits often jump between generic grit steps, which can leave micro scratches you'll need extra polishing to hide. The pad size tends to be small, which helps near edges but can slow you down on full lenses. Consumables run out fast, and buying refills sometimes costs almost as much as the original kit. If your lenses are badly oxidized, you may wish you had an extra grit in between to finesse the cut. A components build is the opposite. You set the tempo, stock 320 to 800 dry for the initial cut, move to 1000 to 1500 damp to refine, and finish with 2500 to 3000 damp to prep for polish. Add a foam or wool pad, a light polishing compound, isopropyl alcohol for wipe down, a UV clearance spray or wipe on form, automotive masking tape, and a spritz bottle for controlled wet sanding. Choose high-quality sandpaper and use a sanding block or padded block for even pressure. The better the paper and backing, the cleaner the finish. Let's talk money. A kit usually lands between $20 and $40. Components typically run $35 to $70, but they'll service multiple cars and future touch-ups. If you have a drill and some supplies already, components can stretch further per dollar. If you have nothing and want one and done, a kit keeps it simple and predictable. Skill fit matters. Drill-powered kits deliver speed and uniformity, as long as you can control RPM and keep the pad moving. Hand kits give conservative users more time to check the surface and avoid heat. Components suit detail-oriented users who want to dial in each step and adapt to lens condition on the fly. If you're restoring a friend's car next weekend, components pay off. If you're fixing your daily tonight, a kit saves brain space. So which delivers? Drill-powered kits usually produce faster, more even results when you manage speed and pressure. Hand-powered kits shine for first-timers who want safety and precision. With your gear chosen, let's protect the paint and run the sanding sequence the way German techs do it. Tape, cut, refine, finish, polish, and seal without surprises. Most failures start before the first pass. The way you tape and the order you sand controls the finish you get. So slow down for 5 minutes and prep like a pro. Wash the lens with car soap, rinse, and dry completely. Mask the paint, rubber, and chrome with automotive masking tape, not painter's tape from the house. Add a second layer right along the lens edge and the bumper corner. Those are the danger zones where pads like to grab and round off plastic. Now the trap most beginners fall into. They rush through grits or never switch directions, and deep scratches hide until the clear coat goes on. Then they bloom like cracks under ice. You won't see them in the cloudy stage, so the only way to avoid them is discipline. Change direction every grit and don't move forward until the previous scratches are fully gone. Phase 1 is the cut. Start dry with 320 to 800 grit, depending on how far gone the lens is. 800 is safe for light oxidation. Drop to 400 or 320 only when the top coat is cooked and flaking. Use left to right strokes with light, even pressure. Keep the pad flat on a small sanding block or foam interface. Avoid edges and raise logos so you don't dish the surface. Wipe dust often. When the yellowing and shiny pits are gone and the lens looks consistently dull, you finish the cut. Phase 2 is the refine. Go damp at 1000 to 1500 grit and switch to up-down strokes. Mist the lens with a spritz bottle, not a bucket, so you don't wash slurry into gaps. Rinse the paper often to clear plastic dust. You're aiming for a uniform mat that looks tighter than the first pass. Any left to right lines from the cut should disappear. If you still see them, stay on that grit until they're gone. Phase 3 is the finish. Step to 2500 to 3000 grit, damp again, and go back to left to right strokes. Keep the pad moving, and the surface just misted, not dripping. The goal is a smooth, even fog with no visible lines or hot spots. At this point, the lens should feel slick under the pad and look evenly frosted. Now polish. Use a wool or microfiber pad with a light polishing compound. Run slow passes with minimal pressure and keep the pad flat. Heat is the enemy, so lift and let things cool if the lens warms up. You're looking for the haze to clear and the depth to return. Clean with isopropyl alcohol to strip oils so the UV coat bonds. Don't touch the lens afterward. Seal with a UV clear. Spray or wipe on in thin, even coats per the label. This locks clarity and blocks new oxidation. Coarse removes the dead layer, mid-grits erase those cuts, fine preps for polish, and the direction change proves each step is complete. With the surface rebuilt, the sealant finally has a perfect base to protect. You can follow every step and still chew up the lens edges if you miss the small stuff. The traps are simple: weak masking, too much heat, skipping a grit because the surface looks fine, and laying down polish but never sealing it. Undertaping lets the pad kiss paint and rubber. Overheating makes polycarbonate go wavy. Skipping grits hides scratches until the clear goes on. Forgetting the UV coat hands your hard work back to the sun. Heat is the silent killer here. A drill on high RPM can ripple plastic in seconds. Keep the pad moving and treat each spot like it's hot, even when it isn't yet. No more than a couple of seconds in one area, then lift and shift. If the lens feels warm to the touch, pause. Let the pad cool, wipe the surface, and take a breath. Waterless sanding is another issue. Dry plastic dust clogs paper and turns the pad into a scuffer that drags marks across the lens. Edge control saves lenses. Keep the pad flat, not tilted, so the outer edge of the disc doesn't bite the lens lip. Double up tape at corners and around any sharp transitions. If the bumper sits proud of the lens, add a thin cardboard guard under the tape as a sacrificial edge. When you switch directions between grits, start and finish strokes away from the edge so you're never pushing into a corner. Speed control is non-negotiable with a drill. Stay at low RPM and let the abrasive do the work. If you hear the pad whistle, you're moving too fast or running too dry. Hand sanding is slower, but the same rule applies. Short sets, frequent checks, even pressure through a soft block so your fingers don't create grooves. Manage water like a tool. During wet stages, use a light mist, not a flood. Too much water floats the paper and reduces cut. Too little loads the sheet. Wipe often, then inspect under a bright raking light from the side. You're looking for consistent scratch direction and a uniform mat before moving on. Dust and oil create fish eyes and weak bonding. Before clear coat, clean the lens with isopropyl alcohol and let it flash off. Wash your hands or wear clean nitrile gloves so you don't print oils back onto the surface. Keep towels lint-free